is Discover Crypto. I am the Druth. We are the Blockchain Basement 1 p.m. show, folks. Bitcoin has been on a major tumble. We're going to be taking a look at some of the movements that have been happening on Federal Reserve rate cut expectations this month. In just a few weeks, major impacts. Expect massive volatility from the FOMC. We're going to look at really what the stock market looks like after normalized expected 25 base point cuts, and also what it ends up happening to be the bigger catalyst when you have 50 base point or more emergency rate cuts. We're going to look at the two differences to get a good bellwether of what to expect in charts this month. A lot of volatility, obviously, as you can see with this morning. And I've got some cool updates for other projects. You know, I got a couple altcoins I want to look at. A deep pick altcoin, Sonic. We are going to be taking a look at Sonic today, as well as this chaos going on with it, Justin and Tron and World Liberty 5, because this is getting a little crazy. Blacklisting addresses. It's a weird, brave world, but you know what? We're going to find out if we're at the bottom after this major pullback today, live with high leverage. That's what it's all about here. Obviously with a stop loss, of course. And I got my wonderful co-host Isaac up on the sticks. How are you doing?
Hello there. I am doing quite fabulous. You know, there's not much to say. We're just
I can't
we're here.
get over the jerseys are so good. The jerseys are so good.
Great.
Yeah, shout out to that.
Speaking of not speaking of anything, I'm just gonna bring this up. I received electric toothbrush.
What is this?
So it's a company called Brescio Network, right? It's basically you brush your teeth and you earn their token, ticker oral. No. I haven't found it yet. It is. It literally hooks up to the app. It's like an $150 toothbrush that they just sent me. So I'm in the process of making a review video and going over everything. But dude, it's insane.
Oh my gosh. You know, my kids are interested in crypto. If I told them, even if the crypto went to zero, they would still brush their teeth earning the token. And that'd be a win for me. Now let's take a look at the charts. We got a lot of stuff to look at here. Let's look at everything going on. Make sure you're following me on the X account here at Druth Crypto. We're live there. You can go down here if you're interested in getting in on any arena or pump fund shows. You can go find my tweets here. There's the ticker. There's the tweet right there. Also follow us on the YouTube, Discover Crypto. We're actually going to be kicking off. I'm still doing polling to figure out when the best time is to reintroduce Blockchain Basement live streams. Got a lot of macroeconomic stuff and culture stuff on my mind that I wanted to discuss there, but make sure to follow us at Discover Crypto. Now, here's the blood. Here's what we're looking at. We were having a great time. Honestly, I clipped along on I clipped along on Morpho and Altcoin literally within the minute of this peak. Honestly, now that I'm talking about it, I got to show you. It's been a wild morning trading. And I was in a Morpho and Altcoin long, as any reasonable person would be, and decided to clip it right. You know, I was getting into the office. I was like, you know, I just don't want to deal with this market open. It seems a little bit sketchy, you know, seems a little bit sketchy to me. So let's see here if I can pull this up. Working. Where is the order? Oh no, I'm not logged in on the trading account. Damn it. Well, regardless, I got out and then I got back into an ETH trade. So I'm in an ETH trade right now. And honestly, this ETH trade is in extreme danger. Okay, I'm in extreme danger. Probably going to get stopped out. I'm keeping a tight stop loss right now because the markets are extremely volatile. I think that there is, you know, a likelihood in my mind that we bounce, but things have been so crazy. Wouldn't be surprised if a nasty rip through what we just developed here. So here's the trade, and it is honestly just barely. Oh my God. And it just took me out for the trade fee. So it was in profit enough to cover the trade fee. And I'm just fishing for this potential bottom catch point here, right? So it was a free trade. I caught it on this wick, and I'm glad I moved over to the screen so we could catch that live on air. That was brutality. It is what it is, though. The markets are being feisty right now. Not too worried about it. Obviously, as you can see, I got the order in earlier, but it's not feeling the strongest. Okay. So Bitcoin, it's not feeling the strongest. We've had, and yeah, we're still generally in an uptrend on the hourly, like the stop the bleed type movement that we've seen over the past few days. It's not broken by any means. It's not broken by any means. So let's actually go check out liquidation heat map to find out where, let's find out where all this jazz action is happening at. You hate when that happens. I hate when that happens too. But it's all right, Sir. Sir 456. I had a great pile of wins that I dropped in the Discord this morning, and honestly, I'm cooking with gasoline right now on the market, so I'm having a lot of fun. Now, here's Bitcoin. A lot of liquidity to the downside has been taken out, but god dang, it's just losing gasoline in the tank. What is going on? Are market participants wisening up before they should be? Let's. Oh, snap. Crypto Crow, what up, man? Good to see you in the chat, man. Shout out to Crypto Crow. Give him a follow. Crow your coins. That's what he always says. Now, let's see. I mean, this is a very strong band to the upside. We're heading into Friday, kind of after hours weekend. It's been definitely like very manipulable over the weekend. So I'm not the biggest fan of trading on the weekends, but God, just a nasty look at how much it just reset like that, Isaac. Holy good Google.
Nuts.
Am I done fishing for the bottom? The answer is no. Okay, the answer is no. So let's go give this a go here. I don't think that I'm in too much danger for the time being. I don't think I'm in too much danger looking at this. So I'll actually pull up this. I want to look at the MACD and see. Look at how tightly coiled that is. Holy good googly moo. That is very tightly coiled. Actually, I kind of like this. I'm going after it. We're just going to go after a little bit, okay? A little touch. This better be market. No, it's setting a limit just a little bit. If you want to trade with us, do use LBank. You can get into the Discord just with your user ID on LBank. Let's just get that back. All right, now let's head on over to the other news. The other news, gold going parabolic, right? So gold hit $3,600 today. Pullback, as you expect, but really not too much of a pullback. And Peter Schiff, he's out there celebrating. Peter Schiff is having a really, really good time out on the markets right now, seeing gold going to parabolic highs. Honestly, the gold movements that we've seen in this candle, I mean, it's on the minute, so it's not really fair. Let's go to the hourly. I was kind of just really soaking this in. I was live in the Discord with the basement G's this morning. This is one of the stronger 1 hour candles we've seen on gold in quite some time to the upside. So gold showing some definite signals, though it is still losing exponentially against Bitcoin. Okay. So this is gold against Bitcoin on the weekly. And as you can see, Bitcoin is the brutal king of all that is value in the world that we know. In the world that we live in currently and where things have moved, Bitcoin is showing reigning king symbols. But gold is rallying against Bitcoin on the weekly. Let's check out where this it's gold is almost starting to look like ETH versus Bitcoin. It's rallied by 19% against Bitcoin. So a little bit of a movement there, turning into absolute all-time highs for gold. Kind of an interesting concept. Let's go back to the charts. Let's check out. Nice little bounce point there, nice and coiled up. We'll see if this holds up. Let's add the stop loss. Safe sex, right? We're going here. We're going to set it about 7%. Maybe I'll move this down a little bit, but you know what? If it loses its overall structure, fine. You got me. Let's see if we can pump up from here. This will be fun to see if it goes down. Now, why all the pain? Why all the blood, right? Let's talk about that. Well, you know what? I know it's not about this giant hurricane supercell thing that's building up over the United States. That's fun. That's in the north. And Dutch Sense, one of the best out there in terms of watching out for these things, highlighting a massive storm, super typhoon Pepia, Western Pacific. So kind of an interesting side note. But here's why the market's so scared. Hiring stalls in the U.S. companies reluctant to expand in an uncertain economic landscape, right? Employers added just 22,000 jobs last month as the labor market continued to cool down due to uncertainty. Hiring decelerated from 79K in July. Labor Department said Friday, and we've seen like the Bureau of Labor Statistics, people getting fired, the numbers being fudged. The reality, the true state of the economy is starting to be realized by decision makers, and it's not that they are just realizing it now, it's that they're being exposed for the lie that it is. Labor Department put out disappointing jobs report a month ago in rage. Trump responded by firing the economist in charge of compiling the numbers and nominating a loyalist to replace her. Now, talking to reporters Thursday night after dinner, wealthy tech executives, Trump seemed to shrug off whether the hiring numbers would come out Friday. The real numbers that he's talking about, the upside that Trump is talking about, and I do think that it will be there, is going to take some time. He says the real numbers that I'm talking about, or whatever it's going to be, will be in a year from now, right? So he's talking about the influx of infrastructure upgrades, building out this new deal that he is getting the wheels in motion for, and I do think will happen, but it's going to take some time for these actions to really take hold and have a tangible impact on the economy. Now, healthcare and social assistance companies, a category that spans hospital and daycare centers, added nearly 47,000 jobs just last month, now account for 87% of the private sector jobs created in 2025. So just these two sectors make up 87% of the entire private sector jobs growth for 2025. Absolutely insane. And you wonder what's going on. And obviously the market's not liking this, right? You have the yesterday's reaction of, woo, we're going to get rate cuts. And then they're like, no, this is really bad on an economic standpoint. And you're like, oh my God. And so I think we're having a little bit of that, pump fatigue. People are kind of realizing like, wait a minute, there's something really systemically wrong with this market right now. And some of the underlying things, like obviously we have the U.S. unemployment rate, which rose to 4.3%. But this is a very, very key metric. And this is the U.S. unemployment rate for ages 16 to 24. Usually able-bodied people that do a lot of production and a lot of the jobs that, really you don't want to do when you're 30, 40 years old and you're further on in your career. Their unemployment level has risen to 10.5%. A lot of kids can't even right now. Isaac, thanks for coming to work today. Did I say that?
Yeah, sure. That's good.
Say that, but it almost
you don't need to, but
say that.
I'll always be in. So
when I see these stats, it scares me. When I see these stats, it scares me about the future of production in the United States, in the future of building out and rebuilding and hoisting up the American empire, right? When I see statistics like this. So thanks for putting in the work there, Mr. Buddy Man. And also keep an eye out because we might have scallywags in the chat. I saw some tickers being dropped there. I'm literally streaming on a ticker and not even doing that. So that's like deportation mode, just a heads up.
Beware, you will be deported.
And you know what? I gotta make sure. Yeah, we're live
everywhere.
Yes. Okay. We're live everywhere. I was making sure the Pump Fun stream is running. Stream is running. Oh shit. And we're trending number 3 on stream.fun. Okay. That's awesome. Hell yeah. And I feel like the hard work over and over again, every day that we put in, eventually, if Pump Fund keeps the initiative on this creator capital markets movement, people will realize that we're a good show, that we provide value, that we're showing up every day. And I think that we have a wholesome way to grow on Solana as a show rather than the other ways that we've seen done in the past, right? That's really my goal. Maybe I'm a dreamer. Maybe I'm wrong in that, but you know what? I'm willing to die trying. Let's check back into the trade.
Scallywag by Scallywag, $2 super chat. What a legend.
Who you calling?
What a legend.
Trade's going good. All right, trade's going good. I'm gonna leave the stop below entry. I don't want to play it too tight. I don't want to play it too tight, but maybe just a little bit tight. Right? All right, now let's keep going through the stories here. Yeah, and again, This type of stuff, 10%, 10.5% unemployment for usually able-bodied folks, the ones that we really, really need to be getting out there. Very concerning. Now Trump says, Jerome, too late, pal, should have lowered interest rates long ago, saying as usual, he's too late, right? Saying as usual, he's too late. Honestly, Trump's being kind of mystic in his messaging right now, should I say, is a one way to put it. I will see if I can find this other post that Trump had put out. Trump's kind of being finalistic, finality is on Trump's mind. I could say that. So I can't quite find where the other message from him was. It was about China and Russia and India choosing their final dark partner, along those lines. And I know what he's talking about. He's talking about the BRICS formation, their lines being unbroken, them looking steadfast and moving forward with it. He's saying you've chosen your side. And that's a dark side to be on, is what he's saying. So this is the Federal Reserve rate probabilities on CME. I know the Polymarket does a good job as well as like these for ease of access, and they're generally the same right now, relatively speaking. There's actually a 11.8% chance of a 50 base point interest rate cut coming in September this month. This meeting is 12 days and 40 minutes away. So we're talking about a emergency level interest rate cut at the Federal Reserve. Now there would be a lot of admittance of a falsified jobs report, that they've been operating off of. There'd be a lot of admittance of, falsehoods within the inflation outlooks. I don't think that, at 12% is kind of shocking that they're even looking at it as a possibility. But now the conversation point is how stock market will perform after the Federal Reserve rate cut happens, right? Because generally speaking, we're definitely looking at a 25 bit point cut regardless of all this. So looking into this just a little bit, and we're going to look at this as a family. Last month, the Federal Reserve cut the federal fund rate. This is talking about it after it happened October of 24. Types of rate cuts, and there are three types generally. You have the normalization rate cuts, the panic cuts, and then the general recession cuts. The Fed doesn't cut rates in a vacuum. Understanding the context of the rate cut, whether it's due in a panic, recession, or simply Federal Reserve balancing economic growth and inflation, can help clarify what to expect from stock market performances. Rate cuts happen one of three reasons. So normalization, the type of cut when it happens if the Fed believes that inflation is under control, but the economy needs a bit of a boost, right? Recession cuts, the type of rate cut that occurs when the Fed is trying to prevent a recession when the economy is already in one. Rate cuts during recessions, like the 2001 dot-com bubble, the 2007 Great Recession, have historically been associated with negative stock market returns. And panic cuts, sometimes rate cuts made in response to major events like shakes to financial markets. These panic cuts often come during the times of significant stress, like the 1987 market crash. Man, shout out to our current Secretary of Treasury on that one, huh? A long-term capital management crisis of 98, or the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic cuts of 2020. Historically, even though the crisis occurred, the stock market posts positive returns over the next few years as the market rebounds from fear-driven lows. For instance, after the 87 crash, the S&P gained over 16% the following year, right? So very, very nuanced, very different approaches. And we're going to kind of weed through all of this. And for the first time in a long time, I agreed with what Peter Schiff says. As I open up the docket, I see what the gold bug extraordinaire has to say today. He said one thing that I agreed with, and it was this. The labor market has not been this weak since the depths of the great financial crisis and the 2020 lockdowns, right? Payrolls actually fell by 13,000 in June, and the 3-month average just above 29K. Since last month's rigged report, who just was revised even worse, who will Trump fire next, right? Kind of poking some fun at it. And, I find it interesting seeing Trump trying to control the narrative, right? With choosing appointees but there's no picking, like we picked and chose the data that got us into the shit show to begin with, right? So you can't really pick and choose your bringer of truth when it comes to what actual jobs are and inflation levels are. And those numbers are going to trickle down to the Federal Reserve governors and make those decisions. Now, here's just a overscope of all the major cuts here of 50 base point or more, right? So we had the 1986 leading into 87, then 89. And here's an interesting one, December of 1990, 100 base point cut. But honestly, you have the resulting target rate at 7%. These are rates that are well above where we are currently. So we have essentially like the dot-com bubble highlighted here, a little bit of the 2008 financial crisis, and then 2020 lockdowns. But then September 18th, 2024, kind of interesting, negative 50 right there. So we've already seen the boiling of emergency rate cut history. Now, this looks at, I want to look at something else, the historic average return. So this is the short-term reaction, so let's look at the short-term reactions first. The 3 to 6 month outlook, returns often posted positive but modest with increased volatility. Non-recessionary periods, S&P gained an average of 14% over 6 months. However, during the recession, it slumped by an average of 4% in that same time frame. Now, medium term, about a year's time frame, S&P 500 had been higher, about 6% on average year after the first cut, slightly below the long-term average since 1970, and other data points stronger gains, such as the 14% of 1980. But it is a mixed bag, right? It is a mixed bag when you have all of these data points. And now when you add this chaos in the mix, the darker mood, the longer term struggle that is being built up between China, the United States, and unfortunately, it looks like India and Russia, is an undeniable thing to pay attention to when you see macroeconomic stress application that hasn't been, put on the markets for, since 1930, 1940. It brings the potential for a major correction. It absolutely does. Now, in terms of crypto, and TJ actually was feeling this too. It's like we get coated in all this bullishness day after day. Hold on. We get just completely surrounded with all the most bullish news, right? Like Wyoming rolling out their own stable coin and rolling out application to a bunch of different coins, and all these different layer ones are being adopted, and it's actually happening, and you get your strategic reserve and all these things. Then you hear the strategic reserve is more just about they're happy confiscating Bitcoin. And then, you see them falsifying labor market data into years after. Like, we got to keep in mind, like, they faked millions of jobs when Biden was when Biden was president. So yeah, it's nice to see the fake job reports finally, uh, essentially be acknowledged, but is there anything going to be done about it? No, right? It doesn't feel like they're going to do anything to fix the situation. And this is a great note, something interesting. It's like when you find out Santa Claus isn't real. Amen to that. Amen to that. This is also very interesting to me. And this is Follis, one of my favorites out there in terms of trading. Huge shout out to Follis. 8x for Bitcoin, new all-time highs. Ethereum, 5x, new all-time highs. Solana, 30x, new all-time highs. Hype hit a 20x plus an airdrop. Ethereum has had an ecosystem boom, a stable coin super cycle. So not necessarily the bust, I would say. So it's not, we don't have the Ethereum bust yet. The Solana ecosystem full bloom, full bust, check. Celebrity grift meta, check. Top signal for sure. Celebrity grifting, check. Altcoin 100xing. ETH to Bitcoin up 150%. Okay, so this one is one that I really want to pick on today. The ETH to Bitcoin pairing, because my gut tells me to jeet everything when we hit 20% on ETH dominance. So I'm going to look at that chart today. AI agent meta, we've seen that come and go. We first saw the AI adjacent plays in the early 24. We saw the AI agents in December 24. Now they've got, all kinds of types of agents and stuff. They're still squeezing it, But then we had the Trump token. Our president literally launched a meme coin. Libra, a literal scam, arguably a rug pull by the president of Argentina. Okay, so we have two presidential tokens here, and then Kanye with Yeezy token, right? This, I mean, this is a lot to take into account that this is all what's happened. So when they say we're just getting started, I mean, honestly, I've had a lot of fun in this market already. So, if they say it's just getting started, it just kind of leaves you wondering, is it just getting started, right? Or maybe this time might be the same. Now, something crazy, Mike Tyson versus Mayweather. Who you got, Isaac? And is it going to be, first, is this going to be a real fight?
If it's a real fight, I'm going to give this one to Tyson.
Yeah. Because I could see Tyson taking another payday for a fake fight. I could see that.
I mean, hey, money is money. If I was paid to have a fake fight and it was like $1 million, you best believe I'm getting knocked out.
I want to believe that it'd be a real fight. And honestly, like if it is a real fight, I mean, he's so much bigger than Mayweather. But Mayweather, I think, is younger. I think Mayweather's got more pep in that step, for sure.
Breaking.
What's that?
Watcher Guru, Justin, U.S. prepares to renegotiate its largest free trade deal, the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement.
Okay.
Interesting.
So we're opening up that conversation for trade agreement between the Americas, essentially.
Indeed.
Okay. Good to know. Also, just newsworthy, Hyperliquid considering launching a stable coin potentially. So we're going to be keeping an eye on this. USDH ticker, currently reserved for the protocol, potentially to be released by validator vote in transparent on-chain process. They might be rolling out a stable coin on Hyperliquid. Look, this is what it is. This is the announcement. 5,000% tariff.
You are banned.
Banned the president of Mexico with that one. Like, boom, baby. Stablecoin group Tether's also going to invest in gold mining as well. A little bit of a diversification, a little bit of a hedge, probably an intelligent play. And Chainlink added to its own reserves, right? It's smoking its own supply, adding in 43,937 Chainlink, raising the total holdings to 237K. Pretty good chunk of Chainlink. Nice start. Nice to see that they believe in themselves. Another one, another mystery of crypto that we know believes in himself oh so well is Justin Sun. Okay. But on the other side of the planet, you have the best, the biggest Trump as the president. And here's what just happened. And this is absolutely crazy. First of all, this whole scenario with Justin Sun and Trump is nuts. This is why we can't have nice things. And it makes me want to cry. But I'm a man. I'm not going to cry. In fact, I should be crying about this trade. Look, it's about to hit my stop. About to hit that stop. I'm just going to kill it so I can pay attention. Things are too crazy right now. I just killed it for a loss. Just killed it for a $10 loss. Not even in the mood to pay attention to that right now. So we got to go back to this. Justin Sun, World Liberty Financial Team, and the global community. As one of the early investors in World Liberty Financial, I have contributed not only capital, but also my trust and support for the future of this project. The goal is right. A lot of people have been highlighting that this looks like it was written by ChatGPT. He says at the end of it, he believes in the chatbot he used to write this. I believe in a truly great financial brand that must be built in fairness, transparency, and trust. Not on unilateral actions that freeze investor assets. What do you mean, like Ethereum and Iran? Do you mean like that? Because that's how it's been. OFAC's been in control. They shut Iran down. They shut BRICS nations down on Ethereum the moment that the whole shit hit the fan. And this is all right. Okay. I got to back up a little bit, Isaac. Okay, hold on.
Yep.
Okay. Remember, I don't want to get the channel to get banned. So please smash the like for us. Please share the show out here. I just stepped on some toesies there. Let's talk about this World Liberty 5 thing. So Justin Sun, it's alleged, was out there enticing people onto HTX to lock up their World Liberty Fi tokens by an interesting mechanism. What happened with World Liberty Fi and Justin Sun last night? This is according to Ray. Okay. Sun put $75 million of World Liberty Fi tokens, got a 20% unlock, and then pledged not to sell. Like, all right, cool. That's bullish. One of the bigger holders, he holds 3%. Great. Then he goes and offers 20% APY yield on HTX for users who lock up their World Liberty Fi token. Then moves the user World Liberty Fi tokens over to Binance and dumps on the market. Buys it back up cheaper to cover the user funds. World Liberty Fi team finds out about this and then froze the entire allocation. These are the layout of allegations. Are birds real? Am I real? Are you watching this show real or a figment of imagination in a line of code in a larger matrix simply flowing over and over again in a reciprocal pattern? That is the question at hand. Now you go to here. Tron was selected by the U.S. Commerce Department for GDP data publication. What is going on right now? Like, is this deal off? Now, I would imagine in a reasonable world, if they find out that Sun was doing that arbitrage on World Liberty Fi token, why in God's green earth would he be allowed anywhere near the U.S. Commerce Department for GDP data publications? Right? Do you know how many trillions of dollars can be wiped off of Wall Street in the blink of an eye if you're in control and you like major problems? And I'm not saying he did. I'm saying that you're basically putting a fox around a hen house, right? And the hen house being already, I guess the hens are on Fent or something because they represent the current Wall Street industry. Not a good scenario, not a good combination. And network adoption apparently surges 60% after fee reductions on Tron. This is cinema. This is absolute, movie level stuff, Longfellow. I completely agree with you. Absolutely insane. So I'm going to be very, very surprised if Tron is continued to be selected by the U.S. Commerce Department after the transgressions of what's being alleged out of this World Liberty Fi situation come unraveled, right? Come to fruition. They find the truth. That's what we're always looking for. We're looking for the truth. And you heard it here from the truth. Now, Sonic. Okay. Sonic TVL is down 68% since May. We see, and this is what if you look around Sonic, it's kind of like this, and then you're like, well, where is everybody? God damn, we had something good going on. Here's Sonic. Down 68% in TVL, but in terms of tech, community strength, DeFi integrations, yada, 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 DeFi investors still feeling like it's one of the top chains out there. And he's asking what went wrong. Now, the rebranding we have to keep in mind did happen within this time frame. The rebranding, like moving to ticker S. I don't think ticker S helped their scenario.
Nope.
I don't think ticker S helped the scenario. I really don't. Now, Sonic, yes, liked by DeFi people for sure. Speculators and hype crowds, which do matter, like the hype guy matters as much as the hype guy at the frat party drove you nuts. He mattered, bro. Okay. He brought the vibes. Okay. And oftentimes he was enticing all the chicks, right? The hype guy matters. And that goes for crypto too. Okay. So let's go to Sonic. Let's go check out this chart and see what the hell we're dealing with here. Cause I know it. Ticker S is not great, right? Ticker S is not great. Yeah, this is insane. Isaac, do you see what's going on here? Because they got a completely new chart layout. You can't combine this with the past Phantom chart layout.
Yeah.
This is quite terrifying though. Let's see what the volume is up 10%. Price down. Steve-O? Is that you? Oh my God.
Hold on a second. What did I say? Is A here or is he in the corner touching himself? I'm just gonna sit here. Just give me 30 seconds. Just gonna sit here.
You don't get it. You don't get it.
Hey, Steve-O. You are banned! There we go.
I love life. You know,
Sonic.
I don't love this graph though. I don't love this graph. It should be 1 base point cut. Jesus, bro. Oh my God. Let's talk about, I want veteran crypto. I think he might have looked into this one or not. But well, as far as the Sonic deal, I'm talking about the Sonic deal. This is also another note about Jupiter that I wanted to bring up. Jupiter kind of fell out of my interest realm when Jupiter kind of fell out of my interest realm when Solana's juice kind of fell away. Now they're rolling out Jupiter Lend. So it's a Solana lending DApp. 8 days, it reached $1 billion in TVL. So honestly, it comes out of the gates with at least some, if not organic, insider interest. So there is something going on there worth noting. And I actually do think I hold a little bit of Jupiter, but not a huge portion of it. But we'll see what that price. Like if we could see Jupiter roll out an effective lending protocol, we see more people get involved with DeFi on Solana, then I would see that picking up steam pretty quickly. Now XRP hits a wall. Have we hit a wall, XR people? Is it over and it's down only from here? You held all-time highs for a year only to fall back down to bear market lows. Is that what's going on? I hope not. Pump Fund and Meme Core, again, the top gainers on today. Shout out to Pump. Jesus. I mean, you guys are doing it. Okay. There we go. Look at that. And our Pump, they're pumping it. They're pumping it. That's cool. Look at you guys. The Pump Fund is pumping. Now, Aerodrome, third biggest winner. Celestia. Celestia is, oh my God, so low. Like, this makes me want to cry. This makes me want to cry. Oh, God. Yeah, Celestia is not looking great. Now, I think I really need you guys to check in on your XRP friends. If this time in the bull market is the same and we are about to go back down by 90% beginning in November, please check on your XR people. Make sure that they do a wellness check. Now, XRP has all the TA in the world telling me that it at least deserves another leg up. It has all the TA in the world telling me it deserves at least another leg up. I'm not saying it's going to $10. Don't come in here yelling at me because that's the case. But, it felt like XRP had the velocity for like a $4 or $5 tap, maybe $6 if we're extra lucky. Let's see here. Volume is staying high on XRP, 41%. On the day, how's it holding up in light of all the bad news, all the tough stuff? Oh, you know what? I mean, not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. XRP, if we don't see a insane, if we get a 50 base point cut or the interest rate cuts through the rest of the year happen, let's say like the stuff we were talking about at the beginning of the show, September, October, December, these outlooks for rate cuts, if we see these happen and XRP hasn't broken out of $4, buyer beware, right? Buyer beware. Jesus. That I'm a holder of XRP and I am homeless. Melt faces, they said. Melt faces.
More like melt homes and dreams and aspirations.
Oh, God.
Savage. Savage.
Melt homes and dreams. XRP to the moon. Oh, my God. Now, Isaac, why'd you have to be so brutal? So they have the... that was insane. XRP hit a wall. Solana slipping, pumping, puffing. Pump is puffing his chest. That's within the articles. Chaos season is here. What can I see? Chaos season is here. I understand the people that want to hold XRP, they want to find that sweet stanky utility, that long-term outlook. It's just we are still beholden to the larger markets, you guys. And if they have to admit that the markets are as bad as they truly are, then we got big problems. We got big problems. I'm glad I clipped that trade here. Jeez Louise. Let's see here. I'm still well up on the day, and I'm glad I clipped that sucker. I got to keep an eye on this because we might, if we break this, I mean, I really feel like $4,000 is in the cards. $4,000 for Ethereum is in the cards if we break this essential shelf that we're on right now. I absolutely feel that way. So we'll see if she holds. This is crazy to see. French police detain 7 following the latest crypto kidnapping attempt. Abduction of a Swiss citizen marks the latest string in a brutal wrench attack targeting cryptocurrency holders. A lot of these things seem to be happening across the seas here. Reportedly found tied up in a house near the city's high-speed train station, according to regional newspaper Le Duché Libre in France, because it's clearly Le Duché. Case is latest in a spat of so-called wrench attacks in France. So kidnappers target wealthy crypto traders, right? Target executives and their families for ransom, often using violent methods of force to surrender digital assets. Absolutely insane. Security experts warn country now leads Europe in such incidents. So yeah, analyst Jameson Lopp tracking. Jameson Lopp doing some tracking here. Shout out to Jameson Lopp. These last 10 wrench attacks in France. In 2025 alone, nearly a quarter of the 48 globally reported this year. So just be careful, especially if you're in France, you're a crypto holder out there. Things are getting a little bit hot. Civil unrest is on the back of people's minds. Even though they smile at you, they wave at you in the grocery store. Things seem normal right now. But the average person is up to their mouth, barely able to breathe, in debt. They are working gig economy jobs to keep a house over their heads and their families' heads. And, this world is only a few missed meals from very, very bad behavior. We seem to forget that very often in life. And I'm here to remind you of such a thing. Now, another part of chaos that we saw happen recently is the Monero 51% attack and the Qubit release of an AI model, but it can't do basic math yet. What is going on here? So Qubit released a AI Garth, an AI model that's been training while it attacked privacy blockchain. Monero, a social media account, made reference to this AI Garth that's faced public ridicule after it failed to solve a basic math problem. Now, this is the post right now, but the creators of and here's the post real quick. So this is Anna AI. This is Garth. I don't know what the hell what are you combining the word name Anna and Garth together? I don't know what planet you are on. But regardless, the creators say that its failures are part of its learning process and come from model's efforts to use intelligence rather than memory. Interesting, but honestly, this is really surprising. So 1 + 1 equaled -114. A lot of people are bullying AI Garth, and I think we need to make AI agent bullying a more common theme. I think we need more of this in life, and I think it'll make for a better society. AI agent bullying. We need to make it great again. For giving the wrong answer, she uses, what is it? Is she? I thought its name was Garth. What is it? Anna? I've never in my life met a girl named Garth. That is not real. That is a scam. This company is scamming reality right now. There's no girl. And what are you giving? An AI agent doesn't have a sex. It doesn't have a gender. An AI agent is a language model.
Correct.
Right? Ah, God.
They're robots. They're nothing. They're no ones.
War backwards is wrong. Shout out to that. We're a war thing. Now, the approach of having it use raw intelligence over memory, what are you talking about? You think that this is sentient and it can just have raw intelligence? I'm highly doubtful that this Garth Anna project is working towards sentience ahead of other AI models. We see AI recommend to drink bleach to fix an ailment in the past. We see all kinds of mistakes happening. This is an interesting thing. Boosted, disagree. Bullying AI is why they will become our overlords. Probably valid. Probably valid from people like me. Get off my lawn. And look at this thing. Yesterday we covered this. A lot of, I caught shade for even one to cover. I got like, why are you covering this? I love Pokemon. I love real world assets. And this cards ticker thing is going strong. It is going very, very strong. These are hourly candles. I was literally covering it right here. Everyone's like, yeah, it's probably, just another rug and yada, yada, yada. The marketplace for Pokemon cards represented online and being traded seems to be bubbling. Very, very cool to see. Now, there is a lot of discussion going on about this Bill Gates, but not Elon Musk, meeting up with Trump. Now, this is where First Lady Melania Trump hosted an AI event, and it was in the Rose Garden. It was attended by Sam Altman, Mark Zuckerberg, Tim Cook, Satya Nadella, Sundar Pichai, Sergey Brin. If only that was Sergey Nazarov, then we could be dumping even harder on. And then Bill Gates, right? So Bill Gates is there. Everyone's asking where the hell Elon Musk is. He did respond to this, that he was invited to the dinner, but unfortunately could not attend. Maybe he didn't want to attend because Gates is there. A representative of mine will be there. But Elon's in the news for other reasons, about potentially becoming the world's first trillionaire. Now, here's the punchline of life. We've got the guy who led USA that was going to gut all the corruption out of the government and got so fed up because they just wouldn't take out the corruption, right? So he went back to the private sector, generally speaking, right? Running massive tunneling organizations, SpaceX, all this crap. And now the bastion of freedom, the man that's going to fight back against the deep state, it's going to be the first trillionaire on the planet. And say those in the same sentence, and you just make yourself feel a little bit weird. Now, Tesla is offering Elon Musk a pay package valued at as much as $1 trillion. If fully realized, this would be the CEO's largest pay package in history. And honestly, it has, as discussed on the morning show, a lot of stipulations about the expectation of Tesla being worth double the market cap of NVIDIA. Fuck. I mean, thinking about an $8 trillion Tesla, kind of a crazy thought. On the release of the news, though, and I mean, really, Tesla, it's not doing poorly as a company, but on the report of the news, I mean, Tesla went very, very up and to the right, very uppity. Okay. Very, very uppity this morning on Tesla. And honestly, I can see a world where Tesla becomes a competitor of most systems across the planet. XAI, the AI system, the everything app that Elon Musk is building out. I think you're going to have a competition between Elon Musk, Brian Armstrong here in the United States to build out what China knows is the WeChat, the everything app. The winner of that competition is going to be worth trillions of dollars. Yes. It's the largest economy on the planet, and it's where the vast majority of commerce is still happening on. So, yeah, Darth, I like this. At this point, money is just some imaginary thing, and they make it the value of things as they feel. Absolutely. 100%. 100%. And this is the scam of a century, really. What's been going on over the past 50 years is a complete scam, a robbery of people's retirements, a robbery of people's kind of quality of life. Now people having to work gig economies, come out of retirement just to make ends meet. You're talking about his graphene investment. Okay. Isaac?
Who said that?
Okay.
Who said that?
It's Crypto Cody. Yeah, but we gotta come up. We don't win them all. We don't win them all.
You don't
Right?
win 'em all.
I didn't win that trade this morning, just live. I had to close it in a loss. But man, this market, she's trying to. Isaac, look at it now. We're trying to.
You are banned.
See? Look at this.
God.
Look at this. If we hold up here, man, if we freaking hold up here, I'll still forgive myself because I'm having a positive day. ETH is actually looking pretty good. Let's see what Bitcoin's looking like. Bitcoin looking like she wants to hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. So this is interesting. ETH has a higher low in the very immediate term on this last stopping point. Bitcoin with the lower low. This is noteworthy. This is noteworthy. So this is Ethereum a little bit more uppity, but honestly, we're at the behest, the driving factor of Bitcoin right now for sure. So I don't know. I mean, maybe not. The last trades that we did yesterday ended up insanely good. The trades that I put in at the end of the show yesterday actually worked out incredibly well. So now you guys, maybe this is voodoo juju, here,
Yes.
but I'm gonna look around here. This actually, that's a pretty aggressive stop right there. That is a pretty aggressive stop on that MACD. That is a pretty aggressive stop on that MACD. Let's actually look at that. And that's Ethereum on the. Oh no, wait, I wasn't showing it. Look at this. So this is the stopping point on the 15-minute, the MACD. I like to make most of my generalized decisions on market trajectory on the 4-hour, and the 4-hour is very much so getting weaker and weaker on the sell-off waves. Uncle Tommy, you got me. Now this is looking like the selling, the downward pressures kind of losing steam. It kind of seems like, what a hell of a wick that was, though, right? It's a wild, wild ride when you're trading these things. I mean, just in the last 4 hours, from top to bottom, 5.3%. Right? Trying to prove this shelf is the holding spot. Trying to prove some shelf. But is it time to cheat everything? This is something that's very, very important. This is something that's very, very important. When am I going to sell all my altcoins into Bitcoin? Yes, Bitcoin can go down from here, blah, blah, blah. But I'm really, the question in my mind is, when am I selling all of the altcoins into Bitcoin or house? Right? That's what Drew is doing. So ETH dominance is where the conversation goes. Let's go to the weekly. Okay, cool. All right. So my worry, and I hadn't looked at this, I wanted to look at it raw with you guys, is that we were approaching the 20% giga resistance mark on Ethereum dominance. We are not there. This is actually okay for me. My zone of Gedimus Maximus taking full form is in the 17 to 19% zone of ETH dominance. I do feel like this is obtainable for Ethereum. And this is going to be my Jeet zone. Okay. It's probably going to end up coming at the end of the year, given the trajectory, the velocity of upswing. You take into account a couple stair steps up to heaven. I think this is going to take some time, and we might have one more disgusting push to the upside after we see the markets realize these emergency rate cuts. Yes, bullish in short term, scary in long term, a little bit of protection mode. It is what it is. I'll end up with more Bitcoin, which is great. I'm already winning bigly on these alts. And this is essentially the Jeet zone that I feel like I need to leave here. Might scare some that there is a Jeet zone created now. But folks, I mean, as I said, we have had things go. I mean, Bitcoin 3-5x, whatever. We've had X's. We've had hundreds of percents of increase, thousands of percents of increase. Take profits when it suits me is how I do this. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you when or why to sell your crypto. I'm just saying that, winning against Bitcoin is hard to do. If I'm doing it in altcoins, I'm feeling great. The mindset shift that people really need to change up is it's a battle for gaining a percent of Bitcoin per week, be it in your fiat mining job, trading, DeFi. You're looking to gather as much Bitcoin as possible over time, over the long term, really looking at, the long-term outlook of things. And when it does come to the bear market, then we'll be trading ranges. Then we'll be doing DeFi. Then we'll be doing other things to keep ourselves busy, to keep our greedy hands out of our Bitcoin bags and continue stacking, because that is essentially the layout right now. And honestly, like Gal, the super cycle talk, I mean, we would need to see, and the super cycle needs that tangible buying of Bitcoin from governments, or, a complete collapse in fiat. But that would, Bitcoin would fall really, really hard about that. Circle, Gal, I'll look at Circle. I've talked about Circle a few times. Let's go look at it. With all the volatility, Tesla's showing good upside. Wall Street's got some volatility going on right now. Circle down to 112. Circle down to 112. Let's see here. Totally. Momentary bounce. But this market open that it had found itself, ripped right through. Ooh, buddy. This isn't something I'm going to unwind current investments into, but taking a shot in this range ain't bad. Taking a shot in the $100 range ain't bad. And yeah, the ranges can break down. In general downturn, you have a lot of, look at this. This might be our freaking, is this the top signal right here? Ooh. Fallen by 62%. 62%. Super cycles. Yeah. And when you're in a super cycle, like gold went through what people could call a super cycle. Gold did go through essentially a super cycle, and it stopped. It lasted for 8 years, and then it stopped. Gold went through a massive upswing when they released ETFs, but look at that. Fuck, man. We have pumped really, really hard. It's been on an absolute tear, 77%. Nothing goes up into the right forever. Right. As you saw with my stop loss, I exercise stop losses, folks. Not in here to sit here and just take pictures of profits and then round trip everything. I'm going to minimize the amount of round tripping, the amount of stories of round tripping that I hear next year, by just keeping a close eye on the pairing charts. Okay. What goes up must come down. That's a great lesson. Great lesson. Isaac, it's been an intense day. It's been a great day trading. I feel incredible. What do you have planned for the weekend? You got any good plans for the weekend?
Me and my friends gonna be starting a band.
Shut up. No, you're not. What?
We practice tomorrow. First time. So
what?
Tomorrow night. It's gonna be great. We don't have a name.
Isaac started a band without Drew.
Oh no. Yeah. So that's what I have for the.
Where am I? What?
Good question.
Shit.
I play both regular guitar and bass guitar, so I've gotten pretty solid at the bass guitar over the past couple of days since I bought it last. 2
you
weeks ago
kids, see, this is me realizing that I'm old. This is Drew realizing that he is old. I'll be the hype man. Man. Band called Raw.
I play the skin flute. Nice.
Jesus
y'all are all gay, and I think with that being said, Drew, what do you have planned for the weekend?
Lots of work, getting the house ready, still planning on moves, so lots of work moving stuff around, hanging out with the kids, paying attention to my kids, giving them the time and attention they deserve, because legacy matters, man. So I love and appreciate every single one of you out there. Pick yourself up an Arculus, check out this ad, and be good to each other.
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.